Good morning guys, I'm Chris and welcome back to this Sunday's episode of Rift Amps. Long-time viewers of the channel will know I've been on the hunt for a Lazy Susan for the workshop for a while now. And yes, there's loads out there, but they're not heavy duty enough. They're neither large enough nor can they take a weight of a really heavy amp. I mean, the heaviest amp that I have in here will probably be 45-50 kilos, so well over 100 pounds, and there's nothing out there. So thankfully, one of my good customers and channel subscriber, Stuart, who is quite handy with the old woodworking, has made for me the ultimate mega Lazy Susan. So all of you will be impressed by this, because not only is it huge, that's what I'm looking for. So diameter is 21 inches, or roughly 54 centimeters all the way across. It's got heavy duty bearings on, enough for, or actually enough to take the weight of a large gentleman, as demonstrated by this idiot. But on top of that, he's also, not only has he painted it in black, he has provided some very nice soft coverings for it to obviously protect amplifiers and bits and pieces. But yeah, look at this. This thing just works great. So let's stick a something on it, shall we? What have I got to put on it? Woo! Look how good that is. That's perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And if I come in and get a different angle, it allows me to do all of this kind of stuff. Look, here's the back panel. Ooh. Spin it round. There's the front panel. God, look at all those fingerprints that needs cleaning up. Etc, etc. How good is that? I am mightily impressed. So big thanks to Stuart for building this and supplying it and delivering it free of charge. He doesn't charge me a thing. So yeah, all hail Stuart. This is fantastic. So mega impressed. So this is now a permanent addition to the workshop. Copycat all back together nicely. I had to adjust the tension as well slightly, but everything is spinning great. So I'll just turn it on and I'll show you. We're no longer getting any of the tape slip that we had before. There was previously as well. You could hear that the tensioner wheels, they were ever so slightly squeaky, and we know they were difficult to turn, but you can see now that they are beautifully free spinning. Tape no longer slips. It's running great. I finished the service inside. Yeah, this one's all done now, so really happy with it. Not much really else to say. Yes, there is. What on earth am I talking about? I've restuck on the WEM badge to the foot switch. Okay, onwards with the Ampeg B15N. We think it's an NB designation. Might be an NA. We think it's an NB. Oh look, you can see me in the reflection. So it's come in, it's got the cabinet out the front, so that's all with it, but I've removed the chassis, taken it off its plinth, mainly so I can spin it around on the Lazy Susan. So, story with this, customers owned it quite a long time now. We think 18-20 years, something like that. It went to, obviously it's a US import, and when it arrived in the country, the owner took it to a very well-respected amp tech here in the UK, who I think is still going, possibly semi-retired, guy called Steve Rouse. Incredible amp tech. He did a 240 volt conversion with a transformer from flip tops, and all the other service work with it. But that was, like I said, roughly 18 years ago, and it hasn't been touched since. So the owner's now brought it to me as I'm his local tech, just for a service and a check over and make sure it's all good, because he does use this regularly for recording in his studio. So we need to make sure it's in tip-top condition. So most of you know by now, but as is common with ampegs of a certain era, often you get the schematic included with the amplifier, which is really helpful. Now this one says NA, but we think it's an MB, so we can just double check. I'm not, off the top of my head, and I will look it up, so don't shout at me. I will look up what the differences are, but as you can see, cathode biased. Yep, cathode biased. So we'll double check that inside and see what's going on. Anyway, let's have a look around this thing. Front panel is in remarkably nice condition. I'll zoom you in. So very little fading or removal of the front screen print. You can see there, looking great. All the knobs appear to be in nice condition. We haven't got any signs of corrosion on the input jacks. All the lettering around here looks good. Very nice indeed. So looking at the transformers, we can see the finish on this one is slightly different to this one. So this is obviously the power transformer and the replacement. Now, if you're ever unsure, a rough rule of thumb, and yes, there are exceptions to this, your power transformer, your mains transformer, will be closest to the on-off switches, and your output transformer will be further away than that. Different amp designs are different, different designers are different, but that's generally an easy way to know. So that's the front. Looks very, very nice. Spin it round. So you can see it's got a UK plug on it now. Let's bring you in a bit. And if I remove the thumb screws, thumb wheels, thumb screws, we can remove the cage and have a look what it's got inside. So we've got a trio of 6 SL7 tongue soles. Now these are reissue ones, but do you know what? These are actually really, really good. Really toneful, very reliable. I do like them. JJ6L6. I'm not sure if JJ do a small bottle 6L6. A short bottle, but yep, they're in there, and it's had the filter cap done. It's got a CE filter cap in it. There it is. 40 40 40. Very nice indeed. So that's the top side of the B15. Just check the fuse value. So if it was US voltage, you can see the value there, 3 amps. So now we are at 240 volt. It's twice the voltage, half the current. So the fuse value should be 1.5 amps. Now the nearest value to that is 1.6. So we're looking and hoping that this fuse here is a 1.6 amp fuse, which it is not. It is a 3 amp fuse. Oh dear. So we're not currently offering the right level of protection. So we will make sure the correct fuse goes in that. Although when I'm running it on the bench, I've got the light bulb, so that's not an issue. Right, let's get this thing flipped upside down. We'll have a look inside. And here we go then. So as we can see, it has had in the past some service work, which is a good thing. I know people love to see amps that have been untouched from the factory, but when an amp has had service work and reasonable quality or good quality service work, it is a sign that it's been looked after, that it's generally quite healthy, and there are no major causes for concern. So when I get an amp in of this age, and I can see it's had work done to a reasonable standard, I'm generally quite happy. So you can see it's had its capacitors replaced. The 2 electrolytics on the board have been done. This is a cheap cap here, and same with this one. So I'm going to swap these 2 out anyway. This one's a 22 microfarads, and this one's a 47. So we'll put some FNTs in there. It's been, if these were last done, at least 18 years ago. So we'll get those done, no problem. We've got the I think that's the cathode. Yes, that's your cathode bias resistor. Currently at 330 ohms. Originally was 250. So the previous tech has upped to that just to try and cool the bias down. That's a good thing. Of course, we will double check that as well. That's your cathode bypass cap. But he's used a 350 volt cap, which is probably overkill. Should be a 50 volt cap. Well, there you go. Okay, what else can we see? Obviously the UK voltage cable all wired in. I mean, the safety earth here ideally should be on its own. And lug shouldn't share it with anything else. Can we see anything else in here? Screen resistors or grid resistors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're the grid resistors. No screen stoppers on this. Is that right? Is that right? Schematic. That is correct. Not happy about that. But there you go. Spin around. You can view from this way. All right. So I'm going to go through this thing, replace the 2 electrolytics here, check the value of everything, clean the pots, the switches, tighten all grounds, all the usual stuff, and then we'll get it on the test bench and give it a play. So I'm having a bit of a sulk. Well, I was having a sulk because we had a talk recently about Trump's tariffs and what they're doing to the industry, and prices are going up. Well, on the 2nd, was it, or the 3rd, he announced his global tariffs, 10% on all UK imports, and literally within the hour, I got a couple of order cancellations come through. People just couldn't afford the extras. So I managed to convince those guys, just hang on for a minute because things might change. We never know. So you don't want to cancel your order just in case. Not just because I don't want to lose a sale, of course, but because, things might change and it might be okay. So don't worry about it just yet. But I mean, $2.7 trillion lost on the stock market. I mean, if that's not incompetence, I don't know what is. But enough about that, the better. Anyway, I was feeling a bit crap. Yeah, it's the last thing I need, right? Is more of this. But I had an email from a guy in Portland, the one above California, below Seattle. That's Portland, isn't it? Oregon, sorry. Yeah. Who wants to order an amp from me? A 5D3 Tweed Deluxe, which I haven't built in a very, very long time. Obviously, we do a lot of 5E3s, a lot of 5C3s, done A3s as well in the TV Deluxe TV, TV style, TV front. That's it. But the D's, no one really goes for. Now the D is really interesting because on first glance, if you're not familiar, the phase inverter does look like a long tail pair, but it's not. It's actually a self-balancing paraphase. Easy for me to say. So yeah, really interesting, unlike the Cathodine style of the 5E3, the later. So I'm really looking forward to getting this, getting stuck into this. I'm just doing the board layout now, and I can squeeze it all into an 8-inch board, and I've got loads of 8-inch offcuts, which is great. So a couple of things I'm just working out, but definitely going to be possible. Yeah, so just working on the board design here, compared to the original layout, couple of changes. So as you can see on the original, the 6v6 cathodes were grounded at the same point as the preamp filter node, which is a bit of a no-no. So I've moved it over here. So the anodes, the screens, and the cathode. So yeah, these two nodes obviously grounded together, and your 6v6 cathodes all at the same grounding point. The preamp node here also feeds the phase inverter, so the phase inverter needs to ground at that point, and also the preamp. So I'm just putting some underboard jumpers like that in place, over to that one there. And the way I like to do them is these will all ground at the input jacks, and these three here will ground over on the power transformer side of the chassis. So quite easy. So the other underboard jumper I need is another one of these. These two are all connected, and we'll do those in a different colour. Let's do those in red so we know it's high voltage. Bum, bum, ba-dum. And that's fed off this point here. No, that one. Is there anything else I need to do? So they're going to come, these two are going to come out there. As you can see on the original, we've got 3 inputs on this one, but we're just going to go for 2 on, that's what the customer wants, easy enough. So we've just got the 2 grid stoppers on the board, and what was the other one? Is the, oh yeah, we've got an underboard from this point here. Is that right? Is that a misprint? So this shows the junction of the 270Ks in this case. Now one's 270, one's 220. That's my mistake. Feeding pin 7, the input group. Okay, future Chris here. I know I've made a mistake on that. I do correct it later on, but before you lot all jump in the comments and start going, oh no, you got it wrong. I know, I worked it out. It's a Friday afternoon. Forgive me, grid. But on this side, it shows the outside 2. So there is a mistake on there, and I would argue that that's going to be more correct. So if we go brown to the right, brown to the left, sorry, and we'll have another underboard from that one, because that makes more sense. We'll have that one as blue. Blue to the right, brown to the left. Off to our 6v6s. Let me... Oh, behave. Because I've already got... See, on this here, they're saying... Oh, it's the feed from there. No, that is right. That is right. So there is one from there. So we'll put another one in. Yeah. We'll put another one in. From there to there. Make it yellow. We have 3 wires coming out of that hole. Do I like that? Maybe not. We'll have to have a think about that. Maybe we have these 2 coming over this way. Oh yeah, they will, because I've already put the holes in. Can you tell it's a Friday? Yeah. Yeah. That is right. Ignore me. This is why we double check our work. And then, yeah, okay. Is there anything else I'm missing on there then? No. The other trick I always like to do on Tweed Deluxe builds is beef up the reservoir cap ever so slightly from 16 to 22. Especially if you want the option of running 6L6s. Don't have to, of course. But I like to do that. And that's about it. All E12 values, of course. Anything else I need? So, no. Pretty much that is my board layout. Just need to do these 2 as well. And then Command C, Command V, that one as well. And perhaps to avoid confusion, no, we want that one there like that. We will make this one blue, since they're coming out the same hole. That's pretty much it, and then we just tidy it up. And that's the board. Now, the stock value for the cross-line stability cap, 100 picofarad, here it is. Here. One of the absolute best TV front deluxes I had, that cap had drifted up to 500 picofarad. So we'll try a 470 in there, and it really gives the amp that sort of old vintage woody feel to it. So we'll try that, and we can always swap it out and go back down to 100. I've actually got a capacitor decade box, so I could try different values, but maybe we'll start with that. Anything else I want to do while I'm thinking about it? Anything else I want to do? Yeah, actually, let's make these 10Ks. And let's put some 470 puffs to ground on that one. Yeah, same on this one. This is the valve wizard trick for reducing hiss. Oh, actually, do you know what would be nicer? Do you know what would be nicer? We did that. We squish you over like that. And then we went. Is there a better way to do that? Do I want to cost up another eyelet? We come over like that. Could I? Park that there for a minute. Let me think about this. If we squish you over that way, square that up nicely, I could put you there. Command C, Command V. Do it that way. Then we could have you to there. Make you over to you like that. Don't mind that. I don't mind that. Save. I don't mind that one bit. Anything else I want to do? So I'm just looking at the schematic again. No, I like that. I do like that. Do I? Do I like that? Do I like that? Yeah, so if I actually just move that side, I can squeeze you over that way, squeeze you over that way, squeeze you in one more, open you up again, give you some nicer spacing. Yeah, I like that. So my preamp bus, preamp phase inverter ground bus, all in there, now ground up at the inputs. Got all my other connections there. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. We'll save that. Quite like that. Quite like that a lot. What I'll do now is I'll do a full size or a scale drawing chassis layout with this board dropped in, and then I can check spacing, make sure everything lines up where I want it to go. But yeah, there you go. 13 minutes of me faffing around. Time for an update on the 18 watt clone that I've had in for quite a while now. I know some of you have been asking for an update on it, where I am with it. So to rewind, we discovered that it sounded all right, sounded pretty good, but it didn't sound like an 18 watt Marshall, which was the whole idea of the thing. It sounded more like a hot-rodded Vox. It kind of did an EL84 thing, but it didn't do it in the way you thought it should, and yeah. And so I came up with a plan with the customer to do some bits and pieces on it, fit a really good high-quality set of transformers, tweak the tone circuit, update the power supply, all those bits and pieces. Well, as I've been going through the rebuild, in fact, this is now the second time I've wired in the board because I've had to remove it a couple of times now. Is that, the long story short, the more I've worked on this, the more I've realised this thing was just weird. Nothing lined up. Nothing seemed to match any known 18 watt variant out there. So there's a great 18 watt forum that you can go onto where, I mean, if you can imagine it, somebody's done it. There are so many variants of the 18 watts circuits, but this one didn't match any of them. I couldn't quite work out what was going on. So whoever the designer was, I mean, it wasn't a kit build, nor is it a cheap Chinese clone or Far East clone. It was built by somebody who clearly was experimenting, but I don't think he, let's be polite here, I don't think he had a defined direction that he wanted to go in. I think he was just experimenting and see what things sounded like, which is why it was so bizarre and weird. Some of the pot values were just crazy, so I've had to put correct value pots in it. Anyway, I've ended up just doing my classic 18 watt treble middle bass circuit, the one that I know sounds great, along with all the other bits and tweaks and pieces that I do to these. So yeah, I'm getting there slowly with it. It's become a bit of a pet project of mine now, because I really want this thing to sound great for its owner. On a side note, this PVC wire is just a nightmare to work with. I can't stand it. It just makes me appreciate cloth wire so much more. You can be so much neater with your wire runs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. We are getting there slowly. And when it is done and I'm happy with it, I know the customer will be too. Well, that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. As always, please give this video a thumbs up, comments and questions down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are posted. If you're feeling super generous, why not join the channel like these guys have, and I will catch you all at the next one. I may have spoken too soon. It's now Friday afternoon. I did the clock on, was it Monday? So in the space of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days, as you can see, I've lost 10 minutes. So I think the battery is on its way out. Bad news. So shall we have a check? Shall we have a look? Oh yeah. So we're down to 1.088 volts. No good. So that is a rechargeable, as most of you spotted. Well done. But we're going to try some budgets, see how long these last. Also, should we see how consistent they are out of the box? Battery number 1. 1.605. 1.603. 1.604. And 1.603. 1.605 it is then. Let's just double check that. Yep. Right. In she goes. And today's date is the 4th of the 4th, 2025. Now, I do need to state that this one was a rechargeable. There you go. So we'll just set the time again, 12:02 and 12 seconds. So if I go 12:02, spin you back to 20 seconds. No, it needs to be ahead, doesn't it? 30, 1, 4, 5. Oh, it's a second ahead. That's a second behind. Hey? Come on, behave. Tell you what I could do. It's got an off button, so if I get it to 5, 4, 5, turn it off. 203. Oh, tell you what, I'll go to 10. 15. I'm not quick enough. 3, 4, 5, 16, 17, 19. Perfect. 12:03 and 25.